Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris Man. As always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. I'm going to do a conclusion to a video I posted about a week ago. It's called, "This is the reason why nobody wants to do business with us." You know who us is. And I'm going to just do a quick recap of the first video. I decided this summer that I just didn't feel like cutting grass this year. I'm like, I ain't got time for this. So I'm going to pay somebody. So my neighbor across the street has a guy that comes out, two guys. So 2 weeks ago, I seen them out there. So I went over there and I introduced myself. I'm this guy's neighbor and I would like to, utilize your service. How much do you charge? And within a 2-minute conversation, it went from $30, $40 to $60. He said, I'll give you the $30 rate today because I told you I'll give it to you, but let me check with my manager. So he claimed to get in his car and get on the phone, which he didn't. He came back, he said, yeah, okay, I do 30 this week. So when I come back in 2 weeks to cut his grass and your grass, I'm gonna have to charge you 60. And I'm kind of saying to myself, that's kind of high. I'm like, I'm kind of cool with 40, but 60 kind of high. So I said, okay. I said, when you come back next week, when you hit his grass, jump across the street and hit mine, and I'll pay you. So I happened to see my neighbor maybe about 3 days later, and I said, yeah, I just hired your landscaping people to do my yard, when they come back in 2 weeks. I said, if you don't mind me asking, how much is he charging you? He said, he charged me $25. I'm like, $25? So he's going to charge me 60. We got the same identical grass space. So I'm like, this is some BS. So I said to myself, when he comes back, in 2 weeks, I'm going to tell him, I had to talk with my neighbor as if you don't think we going to talk. And you charging him 25 and charging me 60. And I'm like, we can do 35. And if not, keep walking. That's what I was going to tell him today when he came. So I took a nap because I'm usually up all night working. So when I lay down, I told my wife, I said, if he rings the bell, wake me up, come get me. So I can tell him that, we can't do 60, dude. Charging dude across the street $25. So when I woke up, my wife said, she's across the street, they're cutting the grass. I'm like, cool. So I get in the window because I'm like, I'll just kind of wait till they finish with his instead of them ringing the bell, because whenever my bell rings, it spooks my cat. She goes run, disappear for 20, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. So I said, I just stand in the window. So I see them, wrapping it up, and they took the lawnmowers and put them in the truck. I said, okay, they're going to be, bagging up in a minute, unless they're going to go around the block. So I'm waiting in the window. They get in the car, they load up their stuff, they drive off. And they didn't come back. I'm like, huh? I'm like, is your memory that short? And I'm sure in business, you write stuff down, that you got these clients this day of the week. And then I went out to my backyard. I'm like, maybe they just went around the block. They never came back. This is the reason why no one wants to do business with us. For this reason, I'm like, because they come every 2 weeks. I'm like, I really used to get my grass cut every week. I cut it every week. And by the time 2 weeks roll around, it's kind of raggedy. And I'm like, if I would have known that they was going to pull a Houdini today, I would have cut my shit last week, and still of my shit kind of getting raggedy and getting kind of, rough around the edges. And my other neighbor's like, what's going on, dude? When you going to hit that grass, So it's just sad that it's like this. They just forgot about me. I'm like, okay, because I remember another time when I lived in this other area, I was looking for carpet cleaning service. And, all the big ones, they pretty expensive. So I said, let me go with a small minority-owned business. So I called the guy, told him what I wanted. He gave me a price. I was cool with that. He said he'd be there in he gave me a date, which was like 4 days. He's gonna come out, evaluate it, and do it. I'm like, cool. So then that day came and went. I called the next day. I'm like, you guys supposed to show up yesterday according to my records. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. That is one word that is not acceptable in business. I forgot. I'm like, again, and I'm going to leave with this. This is why nobody wants to do business with us. You know, we got to be on time. You know, we have to commit to our schedule. You know, if you're supposed to be here that day, you're supposed to be here. You know, again, worst case scenario is you can't make it that day, so you call me the day before. Or if it's an emergency, you call me earlier that day. Or something happened, blah, blah, blah. Understandable, you know, things happen. But when you just forget because you didn't write it down, you're a business and you won't write stuff down, put it on your calendar, you know, or you agree to doing this on a certain day and then you come over here and then you leave. You don't even come across the street. Like, who forgets about making money? Not too many people, unless you already got enough money, more than you can spend. But, you know, again, I'll leave you with this. We got to get our act together. You know, we can't be competitive and in competition with our competitors if we ain't up to speed. We late, we don't show up. We you jacked up quoted prices. You know, how do you expect to compete with the guy that gives you a honest estimate, and when he says he's going to show up on this day, he's here. He takes care of the business in a timely manner, and he's gone. You know, just that simple. And still, again, I'm sitting in the window looking. Just drove off. I'm like, I guess they're going around the block. Never came back. You know, it's just ridiculous. And until next time, take care and thanks for watching.